Hi there everyone, I'm Jinjay, known professionally as Aihara Awayuki. I am a content creator that's working on a brand new sitcom called The Morenos. It's a series that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's also a work in progress with a release date window of late September to early October. I've been working on and preparing this project for approximately 3 years now. I want to create the project since its humble beginnings as a side story series of short stories that I created for my OC for the Orion High School Host Club fandom. I came to a realization that rather than having the original character's family appear when needed for chapters involving family visits, I broke off from the fandom and began developing. Well, I really wanted to start fleshing out the characters by taking some experiences in my life and building on them to center around the main family in the series. I was inspired by many television sitcoms that I grew up watching as a kid. My goal was to bring a bit of nostalgia to those who enjoy family sitcoms while using modern sitcoms as my blueprint of how I wanted the series to be done. Well, my biggest goal for the Morenos is to ensure that everyone sees a family that doesn't adhere to stereotypes placed upon African American families in today's media, and to help give people a view of a series that doesn't rely on the cheese factor or adhere to the so-called PC culture that seems to have sprung up overnight. This video is a question and answer video in celebration for the 3rd anniversary of the Morenos' development. So let's begin the celebration of the Morenos' 3rd anniversary! Question number 1. How fun! Your FAQ mentioned that you base the characters off members of your family. Do any of them know of the series? What do they think of it? Do they have input on how characters should be handled? Well, my family actually do know about the series, because every now and then I'll go and ask them for input. And since they basically follow me on Facebook, they know when I'm doing some projects with it. And if they want to know what I'm doing or what characters are going to be added in, they'll come to me and ask. Like my mom, she actually finds it really fun and funny that I'm doing something about our family, whereas my aunt thinks it's the sweetest thing I could do. My uncle, he finds it amusing. Well, honestly, if my uncle who Roy's based off of was still alive and with us, I think he'd probably find it hilarious that he's a mad scientist. Whereas real life, he really wasn't, but it's kind of funny that I made him a mad scientist. And if my grandmother was still here, I could just hear her now, saying, why in the world are you doing something like this? But she'd probably end up, warming up to it. My older brother, he's cool with it. Every now and then, he lets me know a few things, like if I need to change a few things on his character, or if I need to do something different. And as for my younger brother, he's really indifferent with it. He actually complained about his character not looking like him, but my family actually said his character looked just like him when he was younger. And the kid's older now, so when I started the series, he was still a teenager, but right now he's kind of at that age where he doesn't want to hang out with his big sister. So I really kind of find it funny. My family finds it exciting. Some of my other family members, like my cousins, my aunts, they ask me about it and they say, oh, are you going to put me in too? Oh, what role am I going to have in the series? And I have to stop. I'm like, okay, you guys are going to have to wait a while for me to come up with something for you guys to do in it. It was just supposed to be the family that I know really well, but with the Morenos, it gives me room to grow, gives me room to put the family in, and all of them are pretty amused and excited about it. Question 2. Are there any plans to animate this series, or are you just going to stick to audio? Oh boy, this one. Okay, so the big thing was I want to do a CGI series, since I'm a CGI poser artist, and I really was trying to learn animation. And I recently got some software on how to use motion capture, and I failed at using it. I tried. Even though I have a faster computer now, I'm able to do things animation-wise in practice. But I would like to rely on professional animators to help me out. That way, it won't look as bad and terrible if I did it by myself. So I did start a Patreon, and I wanted to have people, donate to me and help me out with the production costs for animation and original music and, all of that good stuff. But I haven't got really many people pledging or donating, so Right now, I'll stick to audio, and maybe in the near future, after a few episodes are released and people will be like, oh, this is cool, maybe I'll donate and throw a few dollars her way to help her out so she can produce a larger series. But for right now, it's audio, and I kind of sort of feel terrible because I really wanted to do animation, but I don't have the capabilities right now or the proper, courses or teachings. So I gotta find animators, and it'd be really lovely if there was some that would work, free pro bono. But people these days do have bills to pay with the economy the way it is. So I guess I'll rely on Patreon and pray, hopefully and prayfully, that people will start donating. That way I can pay animators and just do what have you with the series. Question number 3. Will you be doing an exploration of some character backstories, for example, Katisha, Mr. Jennings, and Mr. Hanson, etc.? Well, actually, I was thinking about this for a while. Some character backstories, I may end up giving them like a short episode, whereas others, like main cast, they may have longer episodes or story arc. But I'm actually going to try to use the mini episodes to contain character stories and arcs, and have them backstories done for them. That way, the main part of the series will be focused more on the storytelling rather than having to go through heck and back trying to explain each and every character's story, because that would take like 35 episodes, and then if I ended up feeling unsatisfied with it, I'd probably do a sequel, and everyone knows that it takes a few sequels to do it justice, basically. But I may use the mini episodes, I'm unsure, but some characters that are main cast will have either a character arc or a short backstory that ties into the episode that it's focused on. Question 4. Will Janine and Katisha ever be friends? Why do they hate each other so much? This one is really fun. Okay, with these two, I basically based them off of old sitcoms and actually TV shows and animation that I used to watch as a kid. And one of the things about Janine and Katisha are they're kind of like Clover and Mandy from Totally Spies. They're basically going back and forth with each other for no apparent reason half the time. Usually something small like fashion, boyfriends, music, or something like that. But with Janine and Katisha's relationship, they were friends at one time. They were friends. I will give you that one spoiler. They were friends. But something else happened. So I can't tell you guys all the details of this. They hate each other for specified reasons that will be covered in one episode that I'm planning. But will they ever be friends? Honestly, I don't think so. With every Clover, you need a Mandy, basically. You need someone who is a rival, a reoccurring character, unless you come up with a rival character that both of them hate. So for now, Katisha's basically Janine's rival. They don't get along very well. They can't stand each other. As Katisha would say, it's 4 feet tall and smells like cheap perfume, and Janine would call her a fashion reject. So basically, they're not going to be friends. They can't stand each other. That's not going to happen. Question number 5. Will you have LGBT characters in the series? Okay, this one is a huge issue. And honestly, I really want to, but at the same time, I don't have any experience in the community and I don't know anybody very well enough. I do have a cousin who's a part of it, but I don't talk to him often, so I couldn't stop and ask him questions. And I do know some people, but I would feel horrible asking because, they would deem it offensive. And with the way PC culture is, you don't know what's going to offend people, what's not. So there may be some characters that are part of the LGBT community. There might be. Of course, there'll be backgrounders until I figure out how to, properly write them. And basically, if I do, I want to be as sensitive and careful as possible. And hopefully, and just hopefully, that I don't offend anyone with this question not properly giving you an answer. I am so sorry. I don't have very much experience in the community, and I don't want to misrepresent you guys. Question number 6. If you could have anyone play the characters in The Morenos if it was on television, who would you choose? Oh, wow. This question is so tough. Okay. So, I would love to see Monique as Linda because she's fierce, feisty, and just awesome. I mean, at first I was thinking of Jack A. Harry, but I was like, no, I really don't think so. So it would be Monique, Rodney Perry as Roy, because he's awesome. And he actually does look a lot like Roy, so it could fit. Mark Curry as Charlie, because I love Mark Curry. He's freaking hilarious, and I believe he could carry that role. I really do. For Anne, I had a long debate about this until I finally chose Keke Palmer. Not only because she's one of my favorite actresses, but she does a good job as like fashionista characters because she was in True Jackson VP, and I was like, she probably would be able to be a larger than life Anne. And she's actually a better choice than my initial choice of having like Wendy Williams be Anne. I changed my mind because I'm like, no, that wouldn't work. You know, it kind of would be typecasting. So Keke Palmer fits more. And for Magnolia, it's Loretta Devine. Because, one, I love Loretta Devine, and she's in everything. So it's like, if I had my choice in production casting, if it was live action, it'd be Loretta Devine. Because she's awesome, she's in everything, and everybody knows her, and she has the sweetest little voice in the world. And she is so nice, and she reminds me a lot of my grandma, so she actually fits. Now, for Jay, I had a lot of tough decisions for him. I thought like maybe a tough military background type person. Then I was like, no, it should be someone else. And thus, lo and behold, Tyler James Williams. You guys may have seen him in The Walking Dead, but he's mostly famous for playing Chris Rock in Everybody Hates Chris. And he fits. And because I love Tyler so much, he's a great actor. He is awesome. And his roles in sitcoms are just cool. They're just awesome. He's phenomenal. And for Janine, I had a tough choice with her. Because one, she's a character that I created. And two, there's not many, actresses that are pretty young enough to play her. And I'm like an adult actress playing a 15-year-old. Yeah, I don't want to pull a Disney or Nickelodeon. So Sky Jackson comes to mind. Not only is she a tough little cookie because she handled her own against Azealia Banks, and I'm not sure if she can sing or not. I'm going to have to check this out because she's adorable as it is in her other TV shows she's been in. So if she has sung before, I would love to hear her as, Janine, take up the role of Janine. Because with Janine, she's sweet 1 minute and then she's feisty. So Sky totally could handle that. And for Darren, Miles Brown. He is the most cutest little cupcake cinnamon roll in Blackish. He is so cute. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you adorable little muffin. You would be so cute as Darren. I mean, he would just have a handful of lines. I mean, before Darren's initial episode. And then Miles is like so cute and he does a good job in Blackish. He's this adorable little nerdy little kid, yes. But at the same time, he has this like side to him that's a sweetheart. A heart of gold. So he fits Darren perfectly. As for Trinity Stokes would be Shia. That's Darren's friend from elementary school. And she's just the cutest little pumpkin eater ever. And her hair, oh my gosh. Little girls with natural hair are the cutest thing in the universe. And she's so cute. She'll be so cute as Shia. And she has a feisty little attitude and is so cute. So I'm like, you are so going to be Shia. Trinity Stokes is adorable. For DeAndre, there's no question, hands down, Kyle Massey. Corey in the house, baby. That's so Raven. He shook his ass on Dancing with the Stars. That boy can dance. And he can rap too? Oh, please. Kyle Massey is my boy for DeAndre. Because he has a personality like DeAndre too. He's kind-hearted, sweet. He wants to be a rapper. Kyle Massey has more talent than DeAndre does, so that works. And, Kyle's just an overall good actor. And he'd be so cute. Okay, let's see. Since we're gonna go with more characters, I have two more. Daito Shinosuke as Messiah. Only because I have a thing for Daito ever since I've seen him in Oran. In the live action Oran. And I'm like, OMG, I love you to death. Where have you been all my life? Oh my freaking God. I just want to pinch your cheeks. I love Daito. I'm a big Daito fangirl. So he fits perfectly for Messiah. And I'm like, he's Japanese. So if he knows English, he would still have the cute Japanese accent that like if you move to America from Japan, but you still, have your Japanese accent and dialect, it would fit perfectly for Messiah. But I don't know very many Asian actors here in America, so it doesn't work for me because I'm like, Daito is just perfect. He's the whole package, and he's a hottie too. I will give him that. Honestly, I can't think of any more actors or actresses I would like in it. I mean, I did have one for Arisu. It's a cute little girl from Modern Family, the cute little Asian girl. She is so cute. She is adorable. And I'm like, she'd be cute as Arisu. But I forgot her name. I am so sorry. I hope that answered you guys' questions. Oh, and I would love Reginald VelJohnson in any role in the Morenos. Straight up. Carl Winslow. I love him in Family Matters. He has to be in anything I do, because he is awesome like that. Question number 7. Will you have original music in the series? Honestly, I really would love to have original music in the series, rather than using some pre-recorded existing music from OSTs that I own, to finding some online. I would love to have an original composer, but of course that costs money, and I really don't have it unless Patreon takes off, and then I'll be able to pay an original composer for the music. Because right now, yeah, that's not going to happen. But honestly, I would love to have original music. It's one of my top 10 things on my bucket list of things for this series. So there'll be original music if I get a composer. So yeah. Question number 8. I noticed that Janine and Jay have a darker complexion than Darren. Is there a reason for that? Is Darren adopted? Okay. The thing about Darren's skin tone is basically a little bit of a design choice mixed in with he's based off my younger brother. And my little brother is like, when he was younger, he was a yellow little kid. He was just bright yellow. And I just ran with it when he was 5 years old. As for Darren, he actually does have a valid reason why he's lighter than his brother and sister. But I won't be able to tell you guys here. I don't want to spoil it. So you have to wait until the episode that comes up for you guys to check it out. Question number 9. You said the series was inspired by your original character from the Ouran High School Host Club fandom. Will clones of the characters from Ouran appear? To be completely honest, I was thinking about clone characters, but then I was like, no, that's actually pretty lazy. And I really don't think I could have clone characters like randomly appear without explanation. Now, I could pull a Victorious and have it be a crossover episode. Believe me, I can. But at the same time, since this is set in the real world and Ouran's fictional, and them coming together would not work out. I mean, sure, the characters in the Morenos have a mixture of anime and realism, whereas Ouran has anime style. But I wouldn't be able to do that, and even if I made clone characters, I'd actually feel horrible for not using my creativity to the fullest. I mean, it was a stretch with Messiah because I was going to make him a clone of a character from the series, but then I changed my mind and basically made Messiah the way I thought that he would be a fit for Janine as, her friend, and having them jump into the Supersized Boys group. So I thought about it and I'm like, there's too many characters that I have to take care of right now. But in season 2, there may be one extra male character to round out the teen characters a little bit, because the teen characters are currently outnumbered by way of female characters compared to the male characters. But no clone characters of Ouran characters, unless I get bored and do a random dream sequency, Victorious type crossover thing. No, Ouran. Sorry. Question number 10. Why do you hate Full House and Fuller House so much? Woo! This question. I knew this one was going to come up. I knew it. Okay, so here's my beef with Full House. And I'm sorry for all y'all Full House fans that love the series, that grew up with it, that it's nostalgia, that it's all that and a bag of chips to you. Honestly, I can't stand Full House. I used to like it when I was 5 and 6? But then I, grew out of it. Because I realized, I'm like, there's no representation of a girl like me on the show. Sure, they had Denise, and, she was just there. She was Michelle's friend. I'm like, why would you just have her here and not anyone else. And sure, DJ and Stephanie had black friends, but you didn't see them after one episode. So there weren't many black characters in Full House that I could relate to. And, with the family being, Caucasian, I couldn't relate to them. And, DJ, Stephanie, and Michelle being blonde hair, blue eyed, I just couldn't relate to them. Full House was kind of this thing with me. As I got older, I kind of took notice that I couldn't relate to them in any way. There was no representation of me in the show as a kid. Growing up, you're like bombarded with the fact that it's a standard of beauty that if you're dark, you're not seen on television as a main character unless you're either a background character in an ensemble cast like Full House. But when Family Matters came out, and I discovered it when I was a kid, like Family Matters had been on as long as Full House. And I started liking Family Matters a lot more because there was Laura Winslow, Judy, their whole family. They were black representation. And I was like, I love this show so much because it's girls like me on here that I could just look at the screen up there and see me represented by these actresses. And then, hanging with Mr. Cooper followed, and I was excited because I'm a huge Raven Simone fan. I don't care what Raven did, I love Raven to death. And, she was on there, so I'm like, I have someone else that's representation. Then with the Cosby Show, the Cosby family, all of them, they were African American. We had representation there. So my thing with Full House was the fact that there was no representation of African Americans there, unless they were like a background character or just a one-time character. That kind of was my thing with Full House and why I don't like it to this day. With Fuller House, since it's been rebooted, I think this is why it kickstarted me to start the Morenos, because with Fuller House, they do the same formula. Sure, there's characters that are like of different races. Kimberly Gibbler's daughter is Mexican, I think. No, it's Spanish. Wait, is she Spanish? I don't know. But, there's no dark characters on there. Sure, there's ambiguous type characters that have like light skin but dark, African American features. But with Fuller House, it's just the same reason. No representation. I can't relate to the characters now that I'm older. And since I have a younger baby cousin that's growing up in this, time, she doesn't have representation on TV when she watches it. I mean, she does have Doc McStuffins, but since it's ending, she doesn't have anything else. And with Princess Tiana not being around as much, she doesn't have representation. So I was like, I could do the Morenos. If I animated it, she'll be able to watch something that has representation. And she'll just look up and say, oh, there's someone like me that can be on the screen or, on a video or a computer screen that I can look up to and watch. And then, of course, the whole time with Full House, it had ran its course. Moesha showed up. And when Moesha started, I love Brandy to death. She's one of my favorite singers and actresses. And I watched the hell out of Moesha. Then the Parkers came on. And with Kim Parker, she was my favorite character because she was a big girl like me. And she was African American. So I was like, I had representation there. Full House just wasn't my thing. And the writing, it's just, oh my God. The writing was okay. And, the cheese factor was set to 100. With Fuller House, it's set to 100.5. And it's just not my thing. I'm sorry. I just don't like Full House. Those are my personal opinions of it. Don't hold it against me. If you enjoy Full House, more power to you. But I just can't do it. I can't enjoy it. Question number 11. Charlie, Linda, Roy, and Ann all live in the family mansion with their mother. If they all have successful careers, why do they still live at home? Can't they get their own places? Well, honestly, them staying at home kind of helps out with the story dynamics a little bit. Because, you wouldn't want to spend, 15 minutes watching each character commute from their house over to the main house. And since they're wealthy, they have their own rooms and things. And honestly, the idea of them sharing one home together is actually pretty sweet. If you think about it, they get to do things together, get to hang out, that sort of thing. It's really fun. Most of the time, families are pretty close-knit like that. They just don't leave each other. So I guess that's just the way I wanted the story to go is to have them all live in the same house. And that's it for the final question. I hope I answered all of your burning questions. I may do another Q&A video, not for the anniversary, just for because when the pilot is finally posted, I'll be able to do more with it and have more answers to questions that more people will have about it after they see the final product. So, thanks you guys for joining me in this video. Other than that, I'll see you guys when the pilot episode is posted. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Just do what you can to get the Morenos project out there. And here's to 3 more years of the Morenos. Let's go for it again. Bye-bye.